Alright, welcome back to the e-bike noob. Today we're going to talk about the Rize X bike. This one's a little different than the aerial rider. This is more of like just a regular kind of fat tire bike. So I figured I'd share some thoughts on it. This one has almost 2,000 miles on it. I bought it back in maybe 4 or 5 months ago and really had a lot of fun on it. Figured I'd just share some thoughts. So here we go. This time we'll start with the tires. Kind of Crusade. I've had one flat on this thing. This piece of glass actually somehow made it through. Definitely time for replacement tires. I don't know if you can see the tread. Yeah, they're dirty, sorry. But yeah, the tread's definitely getting worn down. For 2,000 miles, can't really say too much about it. So what's that lettering? There we go. They do have that strip around there is very reflective, so that's pretty cool. The fork, I don't know, not much to say about it. Works fine. It is adjustable. Sorry, I was gonna move this for you. It's got the little click kind of adjustment, and all the way does lock it out, making it rigid. On the other side here, there is just preload adjust, and that works okay. There's a little bit of adjustment there. Let's see if we can come around here. Get some brake shots. And I do believe these are the same brakes that they put on the aerial rider. I've changed these pads again a couple of times. Really easy to do. Maybe we'll do a video on specifically how to do it on the Rize. Or maybe just one for both bikes. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Moving on over to the headlight. Headlight's okay. I know it's hard to gauge that, but yeah, I mean, real world review. I don't know. I've ridden home in the dark before. It's on like a totally dark trail with no lights on it. It provides enough light to see. It's definitely not the most pleasant experience, but it's just fun to ride. So yeah, it's worth it. Alright, guess we'll move on to the cockpit here. Again, black and white display, thumb throttle on the left-hand side. Does have the brake inhibitors, so if the brake's on, no motor. This style screen adjuster, I've seen that on other bikes. This one's actually got the nice shifters. There's a trigger to go up, thumb to go down. Decent bell. Locking grips, which these grips are actually pretty okay. Good rest for your hand. Little, not quite like a bullhorn, but whatever. They're okay. Okay. Kind of moving on down here. The seat is a Sella Royale gel seat. I don't know. It's okay. Definitely not as squishy as I think most people are going to want. I have a suspension post on a really comfy kind of cruiser seat that I'll put on there for long rides. Just know this about the suspension post. If you plan on putting one of those on the bike, it will create a very, very tall height. I'm again about 6'3", 6'4", and even I'm on my tiptoes when I'm kind of sitting down with the seat at its lowest when I put a suspension post down there. So just definitely something to be, conscious of if you plan on doing a suspension post. Make sure you got a little bit of height. All right, moving on to the transmission setup here. Actually pretty solid. You can't really pedal at 30 miles an hour, but who cares? That's kind of what the throttle's for. Pretty much anything up to about 22 maybe is very usable. It's a 9-speed, so good amount of range. Just keep it oiled. And again, it is like the trigger kind of shifters on there instead of the big old clunky thumb joint up and down there. So yeah, really the transmission for a fairly inexpensive e-bike is pretty solid. Yeah, that rack, I have actually used it. I don't really like haul too much stuff, but like I said, the battery for this is the same as the Aerial Rider X class. So for like a real long ride, I've actually kind of rigged up a bag strapped down to that rack, and yeah, it's definitely enough to hold a 10-pound battery with a bunch of other crap in there. It does say max 25 kilograms, which is, I don't know, probably a little like 55 pounds or so. Rear tail light, it's not a brake light, so it's not super cool like the Aerial, but the tail light, there's a flashing mode, so you can get it to like blink or just stay on. Again, Kenda Crusade for the tires. This one, the rear tire did get a flat one time. Pretty easy to fix. All right, welcome back to the e-bike noob. Hope you liked the review kind of part of the video. Now here's some riding footage. Again, it's not the best footage, but it's really all I got, so here you go. This is through Pratt Wayne Woods. Actually, I'm sorry, I started off on the Prairie Path, Illinois Prairie Path, kind of like the Wayne area, and then eventually I make it over to Pratt Wayne Woods, which is actually pretty cool. It's like a little like horse trail area, horse riding area, and some pretty good bike trails. Yeah, like I think I just kind of saw this little piece of single track, and if you ever see one of those, if you're riding down like a bike path or something, and you see a little trail, you kind of just gotta go see where it goes, because you never know. And in this case, it really paid off because there was tons of just great open stuff that, to be totally honest with you, on a regular bike would probably, this part right here would probably be okay with that like kind of hard packed dirt. But it's like a horse area, so there was tons of this like grassy stuff. You'll see it coming up here. But on a regular bike, that would probably not be very much fun. On a big fat tire e-bike, it was just a blast. It was incredible. You don't have to put too much effort. You could kind of just ride it like a dirt bike. And it was kind of bumpy. Definitely wasn't very smooth. This part was pretty smooth. I like this hard dirt. But the grassy kind of stuff, not very smooth, but the fat tires just do great through it. And like here, it's just nice and wide open. Really great place to ride. Then, kind of back to the bike here. Some things you might not get from the website or other reviews or something. I don't know, maybe. I hope I'm not being redundant here, but, I'll tell you some things I've observed. Things generally people want to know: battery life. Yeah, this one's good for probably about 40 miles or so, throttle only. Yeah, all right. Yeah, how about this? How about if we get to say 500 likes, we'll do say 500 likes, we'll do a throttle only full range test on the Rize X. But I would guess 40, maybe 45 if we're lucky. The bike is really easy to pedal. It does have the torque sensor instead of a cadence sensor. So the way it pedals is really natural, really smooth. You can almost keep it in like a really high pedal assist setting, and just if you don't crank down really hard with your feet, you'll go pretty easy, But then if you want to go really fast, or if you just want to pass someone, just put a little more, effort in the pedals, and it'll get really quick. So you can really make that battery last if you just do a little bit of work. Really goes a long way. I've easily gotten 60 miles out of just this battery, and there's probably, that wasn't even like draining it. I'm sure there was plenty left in there. But yeah, great battery. Top speed. Again, I've seen the speedometer, which seems to be pretty inaccurate. But I've seen that read out at like 34, 30, 33 and a half, maybe a little bit more. On a flat ground, down like big hills, I've seen, 38, 39. I don't think I've ever seen 40 on the display, but I don't really believe the display all too much. Like I said before, one time I passed one of those like police, radar things, and it clocked me at 32, which I was really happy with that. So yeah, maybe one day we'll do like a GPS kind of speed test thing. We'll get a couple like GPSs going and see how accurate it really is. But yeah, it's definitely fast. It is absolutely fast with the big wheels. The top end is, not quite like, it's definitely not dirt bike fast, but it is really just enough. I'm just kidding, obviously. Who wouldn't want it faster? If this thing did 40 on like flat ground, I think that'd be a really good way to get to work. But 30, 32, and that's on a full charge. Again, that's like fresh battery full charge. But 32 is plenty. Even if that's only like actually 30, plenty. Oh, I hit a little bump there. Phone probably fell. All right, what else might you want to know? The shipping time. So I ordered this thing like a while back. This has got to be the first batch of these things. It was real quick. It was not quite in stock, but they were like ready to fulfill orders. So I think I waited like a week or so. But that was back in maybe April or May of 2020. So, I don't know currently what the status is like. When I bought it, the bike was $19.99. It was $2,000, and pretty comparable to like the Rad Rover. I was looking at the Rad Rover. Glad I went with the Rize. There's a lot of good bikes out there. I'm gonna try to do some more reviews on as many bikes as I can, really. If you're, an e-bike company and you want to send me a bike to review, hit me up. We'll see if we can make that work. If you're just like a person and you have questions, again, I'm not an expert, so this channel's called E-Bike Noob. E-Bike Expert was a different channel, and that's not me. It's not my bag, but I'm a big fan of, we can figure it out together. There's not a ton of support for these bikes right now, so we'll figure it out. We'll figure out when there's problems. It's not too big of a deal. See that fun little section back there? That looked like a pretty nice twisty little off-road part. That's the other thing too. We'll find some trails together, find some good places to go riding. Even if you don't live in like a mountain area. I don't live in a mountain area, but there's all sorts of cool places to go. So, yeah. All right, thanks for sticking around and watching the E-Bike Noob. Hope you enjoyed the review of this Rize X. I got a couple more bikes to review for you. Hope you enjoyed the riding footage. Yeah, I'm still working out some kinks on the channel. We'll get everything figured out here so we can keep bringing you great quality content. In the meantime, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. Wow, I've waited a long time to say that. Feels pretty good. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for riding.